Welcome everyone, my name is Ferris and I am making this video to pass some knowledge on. I recently got the opportunity to explore Havasu Falls for the first time and I wanted to share what I learned from the trip. Just like you, I must have watched a million YouTube videos to prepare for my trip, but there's still some things that I didn't know until we actually got there. So let's take it from the top. You're going to type in Havasupai Hilltop Parking Lot, and I hope I'm saying that right, into whatever map service you use, and you'll see how desolate this place really is. Literally the middle of nowhere. The closest town and gas station is Peach Springs, Arizona, which is about 67.5 miles away, so make sure that you plan ahead. 7 miles east of Peach Springs is Indian Road 18. That's the final road that you'll take to get to the Hilltop parking lot. This is a 2-lane road and it's in pretty good condition. We did see some elk grazing on the side of the road, so keep your eyes open and don't drive too fast. You'll know you're close to the parking lot when the road starts to become curvy and you'll be forced to slow down. Our trip was in February. We thought that it was so early in the year that we'd have the whole place to ourselves, and we couldn't be more wrong. Havasu Falls attracts people from all over the world year-round. We got to the parking lot and it was absolutely full. We had to backtrack a good couple of 100 yards and park on the side of the road. You'll probably experience the same thing, so be prepared to walk a little bit from your car to the trailhead. There is a porta potty at the very north end of the parking lot for you to use, so you can shed some weight before you start your hike. From the parking lot is where it all starts. From here you'll have one of two options to reach the town of Supai, either an 8-mile hike or an 8-minute helicopter flight. Air West is the only helicopter service that flies to and from the parking lot and the town of Supai. They operate on a first-come, first-served basis, and tickets are $85 each way. Now, they only fly on certain days, so make sure to check the schedule. Per Waterfalls of the Grand Canyon.com, between March 15th and October 15th, that's their busy season. They fly Thursdays, Fridays, Sundays, and Mondays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And from October 16th to March 14th, they only fly on Fridays and Sundays, also from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you're planning on taking the helicopter service, I strongly recommend that you contact Air West and verify directly with them that they actually will have a flight on the day that you need. I'll have links below to the Air West website so you can get their contact information, also to Waterfalls of the Grand Canyon website. Keep in mind that not only is space on the chopper first come, first serve, but the residents of Supai also have priority. So you could be sitting there for a while waiting your turn. But again, it's like an 8-minute flight as opposed to an 8-mile hike. So weigh out both options and see what's best for you. We decided to hike it in. We knew ahead of time that we would get to the parking lot at like 6 a.m. and we didn't want to wait for 4 hours and hope to just get on the chopper. So the parking lot sits at an elevation of 5,200 feet while the town of Supai is at 3,200 feet. So the hike in is all downhill, the hike out is all uphill. On the trek back, the majority of the elevation gain is in that last mile or so where the trail switches back and forth up the side of the canyon back up to the parking lot. After you've descended into the valley from the parking lot, the rest of the trail is about 90% flat. The trail is in good condition and there are a couple of signs here and there pointing you in the right direction, so you don't have to worry about getting lost. You'll be hiking through a narrow slot canyon and the color of the rock is absolutely out of this world. It's so pretty. You're going to want to start your hike as early as possible, especially in the hot summer months where the sun will be literally baking down on you. Oh, and remember, there's no place on the trail to refill your water, so you have to carry it with you. Keep this in mind and be prepared. Know your body and how much water you need to get you from the parking lot to the town of Supai where you can buy water. Also, keep in mind that you'll be sharing the trail with horses and pack mules that carry everything to and from the town of Supai. They have the right of way, so move over and let them pass. The town of Supai comes up on you out of nowhere. The slot canyon that you were hiking in will open up. You'll intersect Havasu Creek and follow that to the left to reach town. Out of nowhere, you'll start seeing buildings and fences and houses. There's one main trail in town. You'll want to follow that. We weren't really sure where we were going, so here's the best way that I can describe it. As you're hiking through town, on the left, you'll come up on a small grocery store. This place sells drinks, snacks. They're known for their breakfast burritos and even have benches outside where you can chill and take your pack off for a minute. You're gonna wanna pass that little store to reach the office where you have to sign in. And yes, you have to sign in. Everyone has to sign in. There are no day hikes to this place, so you have to have overnight reservations. So again, past the little store, the office is gonna be on the left-hand side. Once you've signed in, they'll give you wristbands to wear, and then back out you go. They do have a lodge in town, but again, you would have needed to make reservations prior to you getting there, so don't just show up and hope for the best. It's a long walk back to the car. I'll have a link below to the official Havasupai website where you can find information as well as actually book your reservation for either the lodge or the campground. We opted for the campground option as that puts you more of a central location to explore the waterfalls. The lodge is in town while the campground is 2 miles further but sits in between Havasu Falls and Mooney Falls. To reach the campground, you're going to want to keep going past the office on the main trail through town. You'll pass another store on your right-hand side that sells snacks and drinks. Again, 2 miles until you reach the campground, so all in all, you'll be at about 10 total hiking miles by the time you reach the campground. As you're hiking toward the campground, Navajo Falls will be the first of the waterfalls that you see. It's now broken up into upper and lower Navajo Falls. I read a story that back in 2008, a flood came through and changed the landscape to make 2 smaller waterfalls as opposed to one big one. But still, it's a sight to see. One of the things I didn't know is that the campground is about 400 feet lower in elevation than the actual town of Supai. So from Supai, you will continue to lose altitude until you reach the campground. Again, it's good going in, but sucks on the trip back. So continuing from Navajo Falls, you're going across a wooden bridge on your way to the campground, and out of nowhere, boom, you've reached Navajo Falls, and it's absolutely amazing. From the trail, you'll be looking down at the flow of water. It's at this point that all the hiking will finally be worth it. Up to this point, the anxiety and the suspense are just building up. The color of the rock of the canyon, the town of Supai, Navajo Falls, the color of the water, it's just all surreal. You've seen pictures of this place, but seeing it in real life and hear its roar, it's literally breathtaking. It makes you forget that you just walked 10 miles and your shoulders hurt and your feet are sore and your legs are tired. You literally have to rip yourself away from gazing to continue on to the campground. I don't remember seeing one unhappy person the entire trip. This place just puts a smile on everyone's face. So once you're ready to continue on, the campground from this point is literally 5 minutes away, if even that. The trail will take you to the bottom of Havasu Falls and continue into the campground, then eventually to Mooney and Beaver Falls. A couple of things I didn't know. As you walk into the campground, there's a little stand set up that sells fry bread. They literally fry bread and top it with all sorts of goodies. Beans, cheese, hot dogs, chili, lettuce, tomato. I even saw a jar of Nutella there. This little stand even has its own Yelp page. After a 10-mile hike, a calorie overload like this hits the spot. Another thing I didn't know is that there are restrooms in the campground. There are about 4 or 5 restroom buildings scattered throughout the campground. Each building has about 3 to 5 bathrooms. They are primitive bathrooms, but are well maintained. Also, what I didn't know is that there is a natural spring in the campground. It flows right out of the rock 24/7 and doesn't need to be filtered. Not knowing this, I brought my water filter along, but I didn't even end up using it. So I could have saved the weight and the space in my pack. Another thing learned, the campground is long and narrow. So it might be in your best interest to walk down a ways before committing to the first site that you see. Speaking of saving weight, the campground is super hammock friendly, so you can also save the weight of carrying a tent. Once in the campground, you'll be between Havasu and Mooney Falls. Havasu Creek runs through the campground. There's campsites on both sides of the creek. So from here to get to Mooney Falls, you just keep walking down through the campground. Just like Havasu Falls, the trail will take you to the top of Mooney Falls, where you have a beautiful overlook down into the pool of water at the bottom of the falls and everyone playing in it. The hike down from the top of Mooney Falls is a little more adventurous. You definitely have to have both hands free, watch your step, and hang on to the chains that are provided. Mooney Falls is another breathtaking waterfall. It's twice the size of Havasu Falls and it roars twice as loud. Hang out and enjoy the scenery here, or you can keep going to Beaver Falls, which is another 3 miles each way from this point. And it also involves multiple water crossings. We didn't make it all the way to Beaver Falls, but still we had plenty of things to see and do in between Havasu and Mooney Falls. Once you're actually there, you kind of just want to chill and soak it all in. No matter how long your stay is, it's never long enough, and you just want to take as much in as you possibly can. So with that said, I'll leave you with this. This little slice of heaven belongs to the Supai people. They have been here for generations upon generations upon generations. You are their visitor. Please be respectful and follow all their rules. On their website, under the About section, click the Rules button and make yourself familiar with these rules and tips. Most importantly, no campfires and don't litter. Nothing ruins nature more than seeing an empty bag of Doritos on the trail. It doesn't belong there, man. Nature belongs there, so let's keep it that way. I hope this video finds itself useful for you. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I am trying to grow this channel and will be posting more frequently. Follow me along by subscribing and make sure to hit that like button. Also, if you haven't already checked out my Instagram account to see the images I made from this trip, the link is below as well. That's it for me, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see everyone in the next video.